Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, gonna be a match between myself and DERRPP here on Curious Minds, the latter edition. Every time I cast a replay from myself, I get confused because I think I'm talking about myself, but I'm talking about myself. Alright, so bottom right here, we've got a red Zerg. It is DERRPP. And on the top left, it is myself, who is a Protoss, who is blue. The comment that was received in this replay, the replay name was, "This reminds me of Helm's Deep," which is a mod for both, I think, StarCraft 2 and Brood War, modeled after the Battle of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings, right? You've seen that. You've seen the Battle of Helm's Deep in the Two Towers movie, but if you haven't, it is an incredibly filmed, incredibly edited battle, okay? So if you haven't, go ahead and do so. 16, 18, 17 timing here from DERRPP. Overlord scouting out. Little holographic, what is it? Oh, holographic Zergling spinning. Oh, and it changed into like a spring? And then a broodling? I've never actually watched this before. Wow, wow. Super duper cool. Oh, look, another holographic Zergling. This time it's blue. Or maybe a shade of purple. Anyway, shaping up to be... maybe oh, 2 gas. Never mind. It's not a 1-gate expansion timing here from myself. And yeah, this is just a macro opening here from DERRPP. Cybernetics core coming out before the expansion. If you're worried about an early attack, just go ahead and probe scout, right? If you probe scout, you can see if it's a hatch first or a pool first and react accordingly. But if you're worried about this, if you're worried about Lings showing up, the spawning pool isn't done. And now it is, but slow Lings take a long time to cross the map. So you can wall off low ground. Maybe, I don't know, maybe DERRPP queued in as random. Maybe we're just playing it safe for that reason. Anyway, what are we doing here, DERRPP? Okay, 4 Lings on the way. Nothing too crazy. 4 Lings to defend against an adept that might show up and try to kill you. Everything is traditional here. Third base from DERRPP. Started at about 220. I love that timing. That is pretty zippy. He actually did delay the speed a little bit to get that fast third up. So I like that a lot. Now we're in danger zone where DERRPP is dealing with potentially a 4-gating, here we go, potentially a 4-gating Protoss. And if he's got a third base up, that could be really dangerous for him. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3 gates and a robotics facility. And there's a stalker coming out. So this Overlord's going to die. We've got a beautiful scout off here. DERRPP doing some good stuff. Zealot moves across the map. That's the first thing made. Going to go ahead and hack away at this third. But like I said, there's 4 Lings out. 4 Lings can kill a Zealot, no problem. They just have to, you know, go engage with him. And honestly, with good micro, you don't even have to lose any of these Lings potentially. Pull it back, pull it back. Oh, actually, the Zealot moved away, but right before he was going to kill one of those Lings. But either way, you know, just delaying. Delay. Making some more Lings to do with that Zealot, fine. Maybe overreacting a little bit here. The Overlord's going to die, but the Overlord is going to get information. There's still not expansion coming down here. So what are we doing? Sentries. Okay. Robotics facility for... it's got to be for Warp Prism. Just Immortals are not that good this early. Especially if your opponent's going for 1,000,000 Zerglings, which is what is happening here. So third base is fine from DERRPP. A Zealot has died, 1 Ling has died, and an Overlord has died. So third player's in a fine position, but at this point I would really stop droning and maybe start just making army stuff, because a 1-basing Protoss is a much different beast than a 2-basing Protoss. Double Stargate off of 1 base. There's the Warp Prism. Is this a trap all the drones inside the mineral line with force fields and then oracles burn them down play? Entirely possible. I mean, DERRPP doesn't have spores up, which they have to be safety spores, man. In this matchup especially, you got to get spores up at the right time. It's going to be 330, 345, maybe at the latest, maybe 4 if you're really pushing it to get spores up against a Protoss. But especially if they're 1-basing it like this, dangerous. Dangerous stuff. All right, so spore, not getting. All right, so you deserve to lose. If in a ZVP you're not getting any spores at all, you're just basically inviting an Oracle to come in and ruin your day. So he's making some Lings and Banes here. It's good. He hasn't saturated his third base yet because he recognizes the threat of a 1-basing Protoss. So he's smart. And it's going to be Phoenix, which again, spores are incredibly useful against Phoenix too. Queens just generally are not considered enough. And it is going to be, okay, myself, I'm not sure you have the economy to support all this. I'm going to be real with you here. 2 Stargates and a robotics facility and 4 warp gates? Yeah, I don't know. You definitely don't have the gas to make gas units out of all of these unit-producing structures. And there's still no sign of a second base here at all for myself. Spores. I keep looking back, hoping I've been surprised by spores. Nope, not at all. All right, man, DERRPP, if these Phoenix just fly in and murder your entire mineral... Look, even if you have a spore, if like 10 Phoenix show up, they will murder your drone line anyway. That's why you also need queens. Oh, tries to warp prism over here. Sets up in range of queens. Okay, so look, you don't need a spore for this stuff, right? Because queens can handle warp prisms shenaniganly for sure. Yeah, so I mean, the warp prisms bouncing back and forth. Queens are ready over here. Oh, that might just be a dead warp prism, honestly. Yeah, okay, so too late on the recall. Dead. All right, so myself starts out pretty roughly and decides to throw down 2 more gateways. In the meantime, recognizing, okay, look, maybe you're not getting your warp gate, or maybe you're not building on a consistent schedule here. You can make a lot of zealots. You've got 1,300 minerals, so a ton of, there we go. Myself is feeling like, okay, I can make a lot of zealots. Let's get a Twilight Council down, but it's a little bit late for all that stuff. The other thing is, if you're making Phoenix, just keeping them at home, and this isn't home, but they're just on your side of the map, isn't really how they're supposed to be used. They need to be hunting around. They need to be looking for overlords, right? Murderizing overlords. And keeping them at home, because overlords can't be out on the map if there's a bunch of Phoenix flying around sharking them down. Not until the Zerg player's got a bunch of Hydras or Corruptors or something that can deal with them. Finally, myself takes a second base here at 650. DERRPP saturates up his third. No big deal. I mean, he's up 98 to 63 supply. He's got double the overall supply here of his opponent. His economy is way better because 3 base versus 1 base is just not even fair. Yeah. Oh, then he cancels the second base? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, there's a Void Ray out for myself. That's good. So Void Ray is going to be a great answer to all of this ground stuff that DERRPP's going for. So DERRPP decides to go for a Ling Bane Murder the Protoss Now scenario, which I do not recommend. Attacking into an army that's at their home base. Are you just going to sit here? Are you honestly just going to sit here and try to get up? No. Dude, come on. So what is it? The math is that 3 sentries can continuously force field a ramp. 2 can't do it. So this is actually a problem for DERRPP here. But he's got a bunch of energy because they've been sitting here for a while. He's just going to run out. He needs that third observer. Like now. But oh my gosh, the kills. 10 kills, 7 kills. 8 kills, 5 kills. How many Lings have died here? Well, it's 62. And then all that's left is like, I don't know, 15 Lings that do make it in and start killing some probes. The probes immediately start fighting, which is not great for them. A bunch of them are going to die. But wow, that was horrible from DERRPP. What are you doing, man? If the Protoss want to sit back on 1 base and you're on 3 bases, let him. Let him do it. Get to tier 3. Make Ultras so you can bust their force fields. Make Broodlords so you can fire away on all this stuff from distance. There are so many better options here than just Ling Baning your way up a ramp, losing 84 Lings and 4 Banelings in exchange for 13 probes and a couple Zealots. Like, that's nuts. Resources lost are 3,600 to 1,500 in favor of the Protoss. And then the counterattack just wins. So that's game 1 of our sneaky twofer here from myself. Oh, that was great. Come on. That was hilarious from DERRPP. The thing is, this isn't even that scary. It's really not. It was 3. Okay, here's the thing. He's got 3,000 minerals in the bank. He's got 9 larvae. Not ideal. But he can make, I don't know, like how many? 18 more Zerglings. And in addition to there's like 48 Lings here is pretty good, especially since you've got 1/1 and the Protoss doesn't have any upgrades at all except for charge. I think this is doable. I think at this stage, even if you lose the 3rd, which is maybe something that's going to happen here, you got Hydras. Okay, Hydras are really good here too. Man, Hydro Ling is going to hold here. Derp, come on, man. Premature GG if I've ever seen one. Myself expanding behind it, which is good and everything, but yeah, this is, oh no, my Ling Bane attack didn't work against someone who had Banelings, or Force Fields rather. What am I going to do with myself? GG, I guess. Fun. All right, so that's game 1 of Sneaky 2 for. We're going to do game 2 of the aforementioned Sneaky 2 for right now, actually. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Game 2, Sneaky 2 for here on Waterfall. Is this a new map for the map pool? I don't recognize it. Top right, going to be Queen Lilybug with the spinning Kerrigan logo. Nice. And in the bottom left, we have myself with the spinning Bob the Zealot logo. Also nice. So again, another PVZ here from myself for the 2 for this month. Waterfall. Looks fairly standard, right? So we've got a natural. We've got, a ramp leading up to the natural. That is pretty darn nice. Third base is right here. Pretty darn easy to defend. There are ramps leading up to it from both sides. And not many places to expand here. Are there gold? Nope. Rich Vespine Geyser on the left. And on the, right and on the left here. And yeah, other than that, just a pretty darn standard jungle tile set map. So gateway first here from myself again. We've got a hatch first from the Zerg opponent again here from Queen Lily Bug. Once again, this double gas opening. So I don't know. I'm curious what your plan was in game 1 there myself. It was obviously Phoenix, Sentries. I don't know. It almost seemed like you were playing defensively, which I think we talked about. You just didn't want to die to some kind of crazy 2-base all-in or 1-base all-in from the Zerg, and that definitely didn't happen. But I think if the Zerg was better and didn't just donate a million Zerglings and Banelings, well, most of these Zerglings, like 4 Banes, to this ramp, then they would have beat you for sure. So very curious to see what happens on the second one. Cybercore on the way. Once again, not going for the gate expand play. Just going for ye old Cybercore. Queen Lilybug doing what we saw in the last game. So this is a straight up replay of the first game so far. Again, different map, different players, but everything is very, very similar. Got an Overlord perching spot right here for Queen Lilybug. Third base timing here from Queen Lilybug. If you're Zerg, where do you want to go? What is this? That's just a bridge? That's just a regular old... Does that slow you down at all, or is it... It's just a visual feature of, like, water flowing underneath, right? What's on the other side? Do they have a bridge? Oh, they do have a bridge. And a waterfall. Oh, is there a waterfall? Yeah, there's a waterfall, too. Well, this is nice. It's a beautiful, serene, very pretty map. Can't argue with that at all. And third base at the 12 o'clock from the Zerg. Okay, I mean, I think for a Zerg player, either one's fine. If I was Protoss or Terran, I would definitely take this as the third. Easier to defend against incoming attacks if you're at the top of the ramp. Zergs don't care as much about that stuff. Their units are fast. They don't really wall off. They don't really necessarily care about ramps. And there's going to be an Oracle opening this time for myself. But once again, going for that 3-gate. So 3-gate Stargate. 3 Warp Gate Stargate opening here. This Oracle's name is going to be Aurora Oracalis, which is pretty good. Play on the Aurora Borealis concept, which are also known as the Northern Lights, where if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, way up in the Northern Hemisphere, to boot, you can see pretty lights in the skies. Those are the Northern Lights. I don't know what to create them at all. Like, I have no idea, but they're pretty, and people will see them, and they take trips up there to see them. It's like Arctic Circle kind of northern stuff. That's what north I'm talking about here. Once again, a Zerg player that doesn't believe in the power of spores, and this time I think you might actually get punished for it. I mean, the player last game, not at all. Derp didn't lose any drones whatsoever from air stuff. Yeah, I don't know. So what's up with these Zerg players? Like I said, 4 minutes is probably the latest, and bam, here we go. La 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 la, drone, 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 Aurora, Oricalis. Casually 4 kills, blah, blah, blah. I'm cruising into this other base that doesn't have any spores either. Easy peasy, man. Just 5 kills. Yeah, with a little teeny tiny better Oracle control there, this could have easily been 8 or 9 drone kills. Zerg player cannot be happy about that, but refusing... He's not even putting this queen into the location to defend against an Oracle more easily, man. This one too. I understand this is where it pops, but you gotta move him back into the mineral line for defense against these poor drones. My goodness. Alright, well, second base coming in here for myself a lot earlier than the last game, can tell you that much. Also making Void Rays, making Zealots, getting a Twilight. If you're gonna make this many Zealots, you really gotta start a Twilight pretty quickly so you can get them charged. It's like Zerglings, right? If you're planning on making a million Zerglings and you don't get them speed, it's like, what? Why? Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know, but getting +1 air, I mean, that's what I like about these lower level games. They don't make sense sometimes. Queen Lilybug decides to try to send 4 roaches and 2 lings across the map. That might have done some damage, possibly 2 minutes ago, but at 5 minutes, no, especially because there are 2 shield batteries and zealots at the top of this ramp. I do like that from Queen Lilybug, though. The fact that he decided to leave instead of forcing his way up there is genius. He's checking for third bases as well, which is fantastic. Once again, still not throwing up a spore. Extra queens are good, though. Saturating the third base would be nice. Both players spending their money pretty effectively. I'm not going to complain about that, but maybe later we'll start seeing some of that happen. You know what is really good is Charge Lot Void Ray. We've seen that popped out against elite level Zerg players from time to time. It is pretty good, because the Charge Lots are very good against the queens and any hydras that exist, and then the Void Rays are good against everything else the Zerg has, really. Ah, he's doing the spore. Oh, it's a spine. Dude, he doesn't believe in spores at all. Unless this is a spore. Nope, that's a spine too. Ah! Queen Lilybug's like, shut up, Falcon. My queen was here, and so it was able to kill that oracle. If it was in the mineral line, it wouldn't have killed it. True. True fact. Charge, 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 charge. Waiting for charge. Not seeing charge. Carriers, though. The fleet beacon's up. Second Stargate here. You know what's also very good against Zerg, especially at the lower levels, is carriers. Probably better than Void Rays are, I would argue. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And man, slow zealots against roaches. Like, not the best, but also not the worst option either. Turtle zealots, man. One kill, one kill. Now are we starting to float some cash? No. Again, both players anywhere from 100 to 200 minerals. I'm not going to, kill them for that. Spines, though. I mean, look at these spines. Really worried about these zealots coming across here and trying to do some damage. The spines are preparation for that. And once again, these are slow zealots, which the Overlord can see. Twilight Council's on the way. Let's see. Let's see if we get charged. We can do it. Oh, we can't afford it. We don't have enough money for it. Maybe slow zealots will get the win. I don't know. But yeah, myself throwing up. Ye old carrier. Just the one Stargate here. Oh, two Stargates here. Not building anything because there's only 32 workers and not enough gas income or mineral income to really do it. I like the Hydralisk Den. Oh, look, here's the thing. Hydras can be dealt with as Zerg pretty easily if there's only 2 to 3 to 4, maybe 5 carriers, okay? But if you try to show up against 9, 10, 11 carriers, your Hydras are all going to die. No matter how many you have, it's really hard to deal with that many. So honestly, slow zealots and carriers and Void Rays, a mass Hydralisk play would be insanely good. Insanely good. Wow. All right, well, let's see. Not making... Well, there we go. Just pop 10 Hydras. There we go. He heard me. He was like, all right, Falcon. Says Queen Lilybug, or she says, whatever. I'm making 1,000,000 Hydralisks. And if there isn't any splash damage from myself here, or like 9 or 10 carriers, this can totally win. 71 to 40 army supply, Zerg player. Maybe a little bit worried about moving out, though. And that is something that can plague a lot of Zerg players is... You know, attacking into a Protoss that's defending their base is really scary. And that is generally true. I don't recommend doing that. We saw a great example of why not to do that in game number 1. But if you feel like you have enough to just crush them, even if they're sitting here at their base, you just show up with maxed out Hydra from this point, you'll win. But what you can't really afford to do is sit back with maxed out Hydra and do nothing with them. Oh, these Hydras are so close to helping this queen. But they're just standing there. They're just... Hey! And the roach helped too. Yay! This bystander's helped. Huzzah! Queen Lilybug really needs a 4th base at some point. We're at 9 minutes. You're on 3 bases. That's not going to fly, man. You're starting to float money. 1,500 minerals, right? That means that's 3 bases you can throw down. Easily. And then have a lot left over for drones, too. The math. The math. It makes perfect sense. Ooh, it's starting to rain outside. That's nice. It's cool the weather off here today. Got up to like 95, but that rain should cool it down nicely. Excellent. Just hear the rain on my windows as I'm casting. Hey, look at expansion. Yay, Queen Lilybug. Doing the thing. All right, look. If we're just going to sit here and stare at each other from across the map, I'm times doing this thing. Just, you know, casually 2 base carrying it. Here's myself. He's got 2 carriers. He's going to have 3 and 4 here soon. Does he have charge for the Zealots? He does. He's got charge for the Zealots. I like it. I don't know if these guys are going to get much done, but let's follow them anyway. Come on. No, wait. Oh, double-pronged Zealot stuff. Makes it 1,000,000 times better. Let's go. Let's attack. Yeah, both of you attack from different directions. I want to see that. That would be really effective. You could probably kill his base, too. Yeah. So chargelets come in here. Nice. And then these guys move in. All right. Yay. Double-pronged attacks happening. Zealots. A little bit unsure of what they're trying to do. The spine crawler scares them. Understandably, but they're going to try. This is why you get spines. Whoa. A lot of roaches and hydras here. So look, it's 104 to 62 army supply. I think myself here just dies if this Roach Hydra comp walks across the map and just kind of A-moves into it. I really do. There's not enough carriers to be super scared of right now. If you made like a bunch more Hydras with your 24 larvae and your 50 available supply and your 2,600 minerals and 1,800 gas, yeah, you could do it. Mass Hydra. Mass Hydra. Mass Hydra. 3rd base here from myself. 3rd base at 12 minutes. I mean, okay, it's not like super duper ultra late, but it is pretty late. But hey, they're low level players. They're having fun. I wonder what myself's ultimate plan here is. How many carriers do you think we want? Ooh, a mothership. I like that. I'm going to say yes to mothership. I'm going to give my stamp of approval for that one. And here comes myself. He's move commanding across the map instead of A-moving. Is he leaving a bunch of Hydras back home? He is. So if we're just planning on wiping out a base and then going home, I support this. Okay, standing in here and dealing with the army seems all right as well. Are there enough Hydras to deal with these interceptors? And the Void Rays? No. It turns out it was not. Yeah, see that? You either go home. Go home with your smaller group of Hydras or bring everything. Okay, we're bringing everything. Yeah, we're maxed out. And we get 20 Hydras. Yay! All right, let's see if Queen Lilybug can do this thing. If myself loses this game, it's going to be because there's an utter lack of splash damage in this composition. Like an utter, ultra, complete lack. Once again, he's splitting his army up. He's just... Okay, these guys are sitting here. Go attack here! Or go home to defend. You cannot have your unit sitting in no man's land. He's just really focusing on this whole thing. He is killing a lot of interceptors, though. There are... You. Where's my U button? You. There's 44 interceptors remaining. This group doesn't have much. This Void Ray, yeah, taking down a queen. Yeah, he did the thing. He sent his Hydras in, and he's really eating interceptors for lunch right now. He's got 1-1 on these babies. He's taking down shield batteries. The roaches are in here killing stuff, too. This is getting exciting all of a sudden. Army Valley is still 120 to 70, and I still think Queen Ladybug's army is enough to defeat myself's army here. Oh, it's a recall. Oh, it's a mothership, too. Oh, detection, actually. Detection might swing this thing. Like I said, I think myself has enough to win. But if he doesn't have detection and can't see these carriers, I don't know that he can't. I don't think he knows about target firing either, honestly. Make more Hydras. You have enough supply and resources. And larva, too. All right, like this little group of Hydras heading down the right side as well here. Carriers of myself kind of got forgot. They've been forgotten here. And all right. So myself is down to 14 workers. Doesn't seem ideal. Really seems very bad. Let's see if... Okay, these are visible. You know the carriers are here. Yeah. So pulling the Hydras back. He's got Overseers now, too. Woo, yeah. The Overseers are here. Oh, but they're getting killed by the carriers. Save them. Save the Overseer. Pop. Okay, so there goes the Overseer. Interceptor count is bad. Okay, it's 49. That's actually better than I thought. Still mining very well from the third base here. Fourth base not happening. I mean, he's got a 1 base of income right now. He doesn't have a Spire, so he can't kill these carriers as well as he wants to. But, you know, wiping out interceptors and forcing myself to rebuild them is a pretty good way to... Oh, he's target firing carriers. Oh, he knows. He knows. All right, so he takes down 2 carriers. It is 102 to 46 army supply. And here comes the carriers from myself, the second group moving in. Sniping this third base of Lilybugs. The mass Hydra to deal with this. It's the math. Are there enough Hydras to deal with the sheer number of carriers here? Oh, just abusing the fact that he can just fly up this way into the main base, and the Hydras can't follow that easily. It's a beautiful play. It really is. Oh, he snipes the Hydra den. Sick move there, too. From myself. He does. Okay, he forces away myself's carrier and mothership army here. That's pretty good. He's replacing the Hydra den. He doesn't have very much money left here. It's 26 to 18 workers. Both players have lost a ton of workers. 30 drones have died. Okay, 36 probes have died. A nexus and 2 hatcheries have been removed as well. Trying to... Ooh, this is a bad place to sneak. Ooh, mothership taking a ton of hits from these 1-1 Hydras. And yeah, just gotta back it out. Try not to... Okay, great micro. Not losing the mothership there. And then just darts back into the main base again. Gonna snipe down the spawning pool. Queen Lilybug is bored of playing Dance Dance Revolution, so he's gonna head down to the south and just try to base race, I think. So yeah, taking down this Nexus is great. Taking down this base of myself, which is the only source of income that myself has right now. Really, this is turning into a pretty intense second match of the Sneaky Twofer here. Hit that like button if you're having fun with it. And he go. Carrier sniping down the natural hatch. They're ignoring the queen until the hatch is dead. That's funny. Dude, myself's income is not good. I mean, obviously, Queen Lilybug doesn't have any either, so this is turning into a pretty dicey situation. 90 to 46 army supply. If myself doesn't have additional mineral income to replace interceptors as they die on these carriers, he's going to have a hard time winning this thing. Queen Lilybug is being revealed, though. Ah, nicely done. Taking down the Templar Archives, but there is a Dark Shrine coming up right inside the main base. He does not have enough money to make any Dark Templar, but maybe if this base keeps mining for longer... Okay, well, not so much. Yeah, so these probes are dead, and myself can't... Wait, hold on. How much is a Dark Templar? Did he just allow enough time to build a Dark Templar? Okay, so he recalls the carriers home. His income is nothing. He doesn't have any overseers, so he's just going to have to deal with the interceptors as they come out. Okay, this is actually really good for Queen Lilybug. Time Warp comes in. He tries to dodge out of that because your attack speed is slowed down when you're in there. And Hydra attack speed is what makes them as good as they are for the most part. No, don't move command! Don't move command! Why? Okay, well, he moved commands, loses a bunch of Hydras, but, oh my gosh, he wants the mothership so bad. And he doesn't get the mothership, but the interceptor count is 10. Dude. Hold on. I think Queen Lilybug is in a really fantastic position here. He might have just won this game, except myself has a sneaky base in the top left. Sneaky base is sneaky. Queen Lilybug doesn't have enough money to rebuild a new hatch, nor does he have a hatch to return any money to, nor does he have any drones left. Oh my gosh, this is crazy stuff. This is it. If myself can hold on to the, he's got one probe. He's got a probe returning minerals. He can rebuild interceptors to a certain extent, but carriers are such a bad unit to have. If you have 38 army supply and a PVZ at 20 minutes, and you don't have any income, having a carrier might be the worst possible option here. Dude, it's just a base race. Myself's like, I can't deal with those hydras, but also I have 10 interceptors right now. I could kill buildings pretty effectively, so now he needs to find it. Oh, he's letting the spore kill some stuff. Myself, GG's out. Calls the well played, but he has the income and the Zerg player doesn't. Ah! All right, GG. Myself sends in a loss. Super props to him for doing that. Look, I know I say it every time, but if you recognize a name and they're a patron and they're sending me replays every month, and it gets to the point where they never lose, it gets boring for you as a viewer, right? Because you're like, it's a myself replay. He didn't lose. But this time he lost, and now you don't know. So super props to myself for sending in a loss. That was a lot of fun. It's a tiny bit of a premature GG. Like I said, carriers are the worst possible unit to have in this particular exact scenario for Protoss, okay? They're really bad. But how many buildings are left? I don't know. I kind of feel like I guess I couldn't kill that spore very easily. The 2 spores are the problem, but it's 3 extractors. Come in here, kill this. Come over here, kill this. Come kill this one, and then while your probe is mining minerals, get your count up, your interceptor count up to something decent, and you can kill this spore. And if these, I mean, it depends what the Hydras do. If they find this immediately, you're probably in a lot of trouble. If the Hydras come defend the spore, you can't win there either. But there was a path. There was a path forward here. It's a lower level game. You can't expect your enemies to be perfect, right? He made a lot of mistakes here today. He can continue to make mistakes. So a bit of a premature GG, but otherwise really interesting stuff. Any game that ends with the Protoss having 6 carriers, right? And like a couple observers and a probe. I mean, that's tight. The Zerg player only 19 hiders, which is a lot, but only in a direct engagement, which carriers can pretty much avoid for the most part, unless you're dealing with hydras on creep and there's nowhere you can high ground them or cross this body of water, right? So you have to be careful with that, but tricky. Tricky stuff. All right, so that was great. That was really fun. So well done. Honestly, well done there to Queen Lilybug getting the win, getting the GG, but also myself for playing a really entertaining game too. I would recommend Splash Damage. Enough carriers, yes, will murderize a Hydra army, but you never had that. You never had that 9-10 carrier army, all with full complements of interceptors, right? They were kind of split up into separate groups. They weren't as effective as they would have been as a whole. And yeah, Storm, Disruptors, Colossus are probably the best option against Mass Hydra at this level for Protoss, just because they're an A-move unit, and they do very well against Hydras that are also A-moved. Insanely good. All right, fantastic. So that right there is gonna be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a Patreon cast. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.